Did you know Dubai's crown prince once dropped $27 million on a single camel? That's right, not a fancy sports car or a private jet, but a camel. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to his crazy spending habits. But don't write him off as just another rich guy throwing money around. This prince is full of surprises. He's a published poet, an adrenaline junkie, and get this, he's using his billions to tackle global problems. Want to see how a real-life prince is shaking things up? Keep watching. Poetry and photography, the prince's artistic side. Yo, Dubai's crown prince ain't just about the cash and flash. Sheikh Hamdan's got a whole other side that most people don't even know about. Sure, he's got the fancy cars and the bling, but this dude's got some serious artistic chops too. Get this, the prince is a legit published poet. He goes by the name Fazza when he's dropping those rhymes, and we're not talking about some vanity publishing deal either. This guy's won awards for his poetry. He's even got a bunch of his work published in Arabic and English. But that's not all. Sheikh Hamdan's also got a serious eye for photography. His Instagram is full of these sick shots he takes himself. We're talking stunning landscapes, wildlife pics, and some pretty dope street photography. And just like with his poetry, he's not playing around. The prince has snagged awards for his photography too. Now you might be thinking, so what? Rich guy buys a fancy camera and calls himself an artist. But nah, it ain't like that at all. Sheikh Hamdan's using his art to connect with regular people. He's not just showing off his wealth, he's sharing his perspective on the world. Take his poetry, for example. A lot of it deals with themes of love, patriotism, and the beauty of his homeland. It's stuff that resonates with folks from all walks of life. And his photography, it's not just glitzy shots of Dubai's skyline. The prince captures everyday moments, nature, and the human spirit in a way that's super relatable. But here's the real kicker. Sheikh Hamdan's using his platform to promote other artists too. He's been known to share work from up-and-coming poets and photographers, giving them exposure they could only dream of. It's like he's using his fortune to build this whole artistic community. And get this, the prince even organized a photography competition called the Hamdan International Photography Award. It's got a prize pool worth millions of dirhams. That's some serious cash for aspiring photographers. So yeah, Sheikh Hamdan's proving that money can't buy talent, but it sure can help share it. He's using his wealth and influence to put the spotlight on art and culture. It's like he's saying, yeah, I could buy another yacht, but I'd rather invest in creativity. Adventure sports, thrill-seeking on a royal budget. You think poetry's intense? Wait till you see how this prince writes his legacy in the sky. Sheikh Hamdan's got a hobby that's taking Dubai to new heights and depths, but he ain't just playing around. This royal's got a serious addiction to adrenaline, and he's spending big bucks to feed it. We're talking about a guy who looks at a perfectly good plane and thinks, yeah, I'm gonna jump out of that. Sheikh Hamdan's been spotted skydiving over the Palm Jumeirah, that crazy man-made island shaped like a palm tree. But that's just the start of his extreme sports obsession. This prince is all about pushing limits. He's into freediving, which is basically seeing how long you can hold your breath underwater without dying. Then there's cycling, because apparently regular exercise is too boring for royalty. And don't forget ziplining, where he's probably racing against falcons or something equally insane. But here's the thing, when you're a prince, you can't just grab some gear from the local sports shop. Nah, Sheikh Hamdan's got custom equipment for every sport he does. We're talking top-of-the-line, specially made stuff that probably costs more than most people's houses. High-quality skydiving suits and gear can run thousands of dollars each, and that's just for us regular folks. Imagine what a prince is dropping on his adventure gear. You might think this is just some rich guy burning cash on thrills, but Sheikh Hamdan's playing 4D chess here. See, every time he posts a pic of himself doing something crazy, he's basically doing a commercial for Dubai. It's like, hey, come to Dubai, where even the royals are living on the edge. He's using his social media to show off all these adventures, and it's working. People see the Crown Prince of Dubai skydiving over insane architecture or scuba diving in crystal clear waters, and suddenly everyone wants a piece of that action. It's turning Dubai into this hotspot for adventure tourism. So yeah, Sheikh Hamdan's spending millions on his extreme hobbies, but he's also investing in his city's future. He's not just talking about making Dubai a world-class destination. He's jumping out of planes to prove it. It's like extreme sports marketing, and this prince is the poster boy. Luxury cars, a royal fleet on wheels. Alright, buckle up for a ride through Sheikh Hamdan's garage, because this ain't your average car collection. You know how some people collect stamps? Well, this prince collects supercars like they're going out of style. Let's start with the crown jewel, a Bugatti Veyron. This beast ain't just fast, it's stupid fast. We're talking 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. But speed ain't everything for the prince. He's also got a McLaren P1 that's so exclusive you probably won't ever see one in real life. But wait, there's more. Sheikh Hamdan's got a Mercedes AMG SLS that looks like it came straight right out of Batman's garage. And if that ain't enough, he's also cruising around in a Lamborghini Veneno. Only 9 of these bad boys were ever made, so you know it's special. Now you might think having all these fancy cars is cool, but the prince takes it to another level. He's slapping VIP number plates on these rides. We're not talking about your regular Prince 1 vanity plates. These are super expensive, ultra exclusive plates that scream, "I'm royalty, get out of my way." But here's the kicker. Sheikh Hamdan ain't just about the flash. He's got some eco-friendly rides in his collection too. It's like he's saying, yeah, I can burn rubber with the best of them, but I also care about the planet. Talk about a royal flex. Now you might be thinking, how much does all this cost? Well, let's just say if you gotta ask, you can't afford it. We're talking millions upon millions of dollars here. But for a billionaire prince, it's probably just another Tuesday. The coolest part? Sheikh Hamdan ain't just keeping these cars locked up in some secret underground lair. Nah, he's out there driving them, showing them off, and letting the people of Dubai dream a little. It's like he's bringing a bit of that royal magic to the streets. Real estate, living large in the world's tallest building. You thought Sheikh Hamdan's car collection was impressive? Well, buckle up, because this prince ain't just cruising the streets. He's living so high up, he's practically touching the clouds. We're talking about his penthouse in the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. Yeah, that's right. Sheikh Hamdan calls the top of this monster skyscraper home. But here's the thing, living in the clouds ain't cheap. A penthouse in the Burj Khalifa can set you back a cool $30 million. That's not just pocket change, even for a prince. And Sheikh Hamdan's place, it's not just one floor, it's multiple floors near the top of this giant needle poking the sky. Now imagine waking up every morning and looking out your window. You're not just seeing the city, you're seeing all of Dubai stretched out below you like a giant playground. The view's so good it'll make your head spin. On a clear day you can probably see all the way to his fancy cars parked down below, but the outside ain't nothing compared to what's inside. This place is decked out like you wouldn't believe. We're talking gold and marble everywhere. It's like King Midas went on a decorating spree. Every room screams luxury from the floors to the ceilings. It's the kind of place that makes 5-star hotels look like budget motels. Now you'd think having the fanciest pad in the tallest building in the world would be enough, right? Wrong. Because Sheikh Hamdan's just getting started. He's got other properties all over Dubai. There's a palace in Emirates Hills that's probably bigger than most people's entire neighborhoods. And get this, he's even got his own private island in the World Islands. Yeah, you heard that right. A whole island to himself. It's like Sheikh Hamdan's playing real-life Monopoly. But instead of little plastic houses, he's collecting the most insane properties in Dubai. From the highest penthouse to his own slice of paradise on a man-made island, this prince is proving that home really is where the luxury is, no matter how high up or far out you go. Private islands, a personal paradise. You thought a penthouse in the sky was the ultimate flex? Well, Sheikh Hamdan's got a whole island to himself. But this ain't just any island. It's a man-made slice of paradise in the World Islands, off the coast of Dubai. And let me tell you, this prince knows how to turn a pile of sand into a personal playground. First up, he's got this massive villa that's basically a palace on the beach. We're talking about a spot so luxe it makes most 5-star resorts look like budget motels. The villa's got its own private beach, so Sheikh Hamdan can take a dip without worrying about tourists cramping his style. It's like having your own personal slice of the Caribbean, but with a Dubai twist. But that's not even the craziest part. This island's got its own private marina. Yeah, you heard that right. A whole marina just for his yachts. It's like he's got a parking lot for boats right in his backyard. This setup lets him hop on a yacht whenever he feels like it. No need to deal with public marinas or waiting in line. Sheikh Hamdan can just wake up, decide he wants to cruise the Persian Gulf, and boom, he's on the water in minutes. Now here's where it gets wild. Sheikh Hamdan's turned part of his island into a mini zoo. We're not talking about a couple of peacocks strutting around. Nah, this is a legit collection of exotic animals. It's like he took a page out of Joe Exotic's book, but with way more class and probably better animal care. This zoo shows off the prince's love for wildlife and his commitment to conservation. It's not just about having cool pets, it's about protecting and studying these amazing creatures. But here's the kicker. Sheikh Hamdan doesn't just keep all this luxury to himself. Sometimes he opens up his island paradise for charity events. Imagine getting an invite to a fundraiser and finding out it's on a private island. That's next level hosting right there. It's like the prince is saying, yeah, I've got all this crazy luxury, but I'm going to use it to help people out. He's turning his personal playground into a force for good. Private jets, flying in royal style. You thought Sheikh Hamdan's island was impressive? Well, his ride in the sky is something else entirely. We're talking about a Boeing 747-400 that's been turned into a flying mansion. Yeah, you heard that right. A whole jumbo jet customized for luxury living at 30,000 feet. Now, most of us are happy if we get an extra bag of peanuts in economy, but for Sheikh Hamdan, even first class ain't enough. His private jet is decked out with gold-plated everything, and I mean everything, even the seatbelts are gold. It's like King Midas went wild on an airplane. But the bling is just the beginning. This jet's got amenities that'll make you forget you're even flying. There's a full-size bed for catching some Z's between continents. Feeling a bit grungy after a long flight? No problem, there's a shower on board. And when you're done freshening up, you can kick back in the living room. It's like having your whole house with you wherever you go. But here's the thing, Sheikh Hamdan ain't just using this jet for fun and games. The plane's also got meeting rooms, cause even princes gotta work sometimes. Imagine closing million-dollar deals while cruising over the Atlantic. That's some next-level multitasking right there. Now you might be thinking, all this luxury must cost a fortune to run, and you'd be right. But here's where Sheikh Hamdan surprises us again. He doesn't just use this flying palace for himself. Nah, he's put it to work for good causes too. See, Sheikh Hamdan uses his private jet for humanitarian missions. So one day it might be flying him to a fancy gala, and the next it could be delivering aid to people in need. It's like he's turned his ultimate luxury item into a force for good. That's some superhero level stuff right there. So yeah, Sheikh Hamdan's got a plane that makes Air Force One look like a budget airline, but he's using it to help people out, not just to show off. It's like he's saying, yeah, I've got all this crazy luxury, but I'm gonna use it to make a difference. Super yachts, floating palaces. Alright, so Sheikh Hamdan's got a private jet that's basically a flying palace. But that's nothing compared to what he's got cruising the seas. We're talking about a super yacht that makes other luxury boats look like inflatable pool toys. Meet the Dubai, Sheikh Hamdan's floating mansion that's longer than 1.5 football fields. This beast stretches 162 meters from bow to stern, making it one of the biggest yachts in the world. It's so massive you could probably see it from space if it was painted neon. But size ain't everything, right? Well, this yacht's got the amenities to match its monster proportions. We're talking a mosaic swimming pool that probably costs more than most people's houses. And get this, it's got multiple helipads. Cause why land one helicopter when you can land a whole fleet? But here's where it gets wild. The Dubai has its own disco. Yeah, you heard that right. A full-on nightclub right there on the water. So when Sheikh Hamdan and his crew want to party, they don't need to hit the clubs in Dubai. They just fire up the engines and take the whole club out to sea. Now you might be thinking, okay, a giant boat with a pool and a disco is cool and all, but what else you got? Well, hold on to your snorkels, cause this yacht's got a submarine. A freaking submarine. It's like Sheikh Hamdan looked at his yacht and thought, you know what this needs? An underwater escape pod. But here's the kicker. This yacht ain't just for showing off. Sheikh Hamdan sometimes uses it for marine conservation projects. So while he's cruising around in luxury, he's also helping save the oceans. It's like a win-win situation, but with caviar. And if you thought this yacht was exclusive, wait till you hear about the guest list. The Dubai can host up to 48 people. That might not sound like a lot, but we're talking 48 people living in absolute luxury. It's basically a floating 5-star hotel, but way more exclusive. Exotic pets, a $27 million camel and more. You thought a $500 million yacht was wild. Get ready for this. Sheikh Hamdan dropped $27 million on a single camel. Yeah, you heard that right. A camel. But this ain't just any old desert dweller. We're talking about a champion racing camel. And in Dubai, that's a big deal. See, camel racing is huge in Dubai. These ships of the desert can fetch prices that'll make your head spin. Rich folks like Sheikh Hamdan are all about owning the best of the best. And in the world of camel racing, that comes with a seriously hefty price tag. But the prince ain't stopping at camels. He's got a whole stable full of crazy expensive horses too. We're talking thoroughbreds worth millions each. And get this, his horse Thunder Snow even won the Dubai World Cup. That's like the Super Bowl of horse racing, people. Now you might be thinking, okay, camels and horses, that's cool and all. But hold up, because there's more. Word on the street is Sheikh Hamdan's got some exotic big cats too. Like imagine chilling in your living room and there's a tiger just lounging on the couch next to you. That's the kind of luxury we're talking about here. But here's where it gets really interesting. Sheikh Hamdan ain't just collecting these animals to show off. He's using his love for animals and his fat wallet to do some good in the world. He's all about supporting conservation efforts and raising awareness for animal rights. It's like, yeah, he's got this insane collection of exotic pets that most of us can only dream about, but he's also using his influence to make sure other animals are taken care of too. That's pretty cool when you think about it. He's showing that even the most baller pets can be used to shine a light on important issues. So next time you're feeling bad about splurging on a fancy collar for your dog, just remember, somewhere out there, Sheikh Hamdan's got a camel that's worth more than most people's houses. And he's using that to try and make the world a better place for animals everywhere. Luxury watches. Time is money. You thought Sheikh Hamdan's camel collection was wild? Wait till you hear about his watch game. This guy's got timepieces that cost more than most people's entire life savings. But the craziest part? He sometimes gives them away for charity. Let's talk about the crown jewel of his collection, a Patek Philippe that's worth over $1 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $1 million for a watch. But that ain't nothing compared to his Richard Mille. These watches are known for being pricier than most supercars. Just imagine strapping the value of a Lamborghini to your wrist every morning. But here's where it gets really crazy. Some of Sheikh Hamdan's watches are so rare they're basically one of a kind. We're talking about timepieces that collectors would give their right arm for, though that might make it hard to wear the watch. These aren't just accessories, they're investments that keep gaining value faster than you can say, time is money. Now you might be thinking, sure, he's got all these fancy watches, but what's he doing with them besides showing off? Well, hold on to your hat, because this is where things get interesting. Sheikh Hamdan doesn't just hoard these ultra-expensive timepieces, he actually puts them to good use. See, the prince participates in charity auctions where he sometimes puts his luxury watches on the block. That's right, he's willing to part with these million-dollar babies to raise money for good causes. It's like he's turning time into cash and then turning that cash into help for people who need it. Imagine being at one of these auctions. You're sitting there, maybe sipping on some fancy champagne, when suddenly the auctioneer announces, "Next up, a one-of-a-kind watch from the personal collection of Sheikh Hamdan." The room goes quiet, everyone's holding their breath. And then the bidding starts. It's like watching a tennis match, but instead of a ball, it's millions of dollars flying back and forth. And here's the kicker. Every time that hammer falls, it's not just some rich person getting a new toy. It's money going to charity. It's help for people who really need it. It's Sheikh Hamdan proving that even the most expensive timepieces can be used to give back. So next time you're feeling bad about splurging on a new watch, just remember, somewhere out there, Sheikh Hamdan's got a watch collection that's worth more than most neighborhoods. And he's using that to try and make the world a better place, one tick at a time. Philanthropy, billions for a better world. Alright, so you thought Sheikh Hamdan was just flexing with his $1 million watches? Well, hold on to your wallets, because this prince is dropping billions, yeah, with a B, to change lives. But can one guy's fortune really make a dent in global problems? Let's break it down. First up, Sheikh Hamdan's not just writing checks. He's got his hands in some serious world-changing projects. Take UAE WaterAid, for example. This isn't just some feel-good charity. It's providing clean water to over 10 million people around the world. That's more people than some countries have. And we're talking about places where clean water isn't just a luxury, it's life or death. But Hamdan's not stopping there. He's also all about education. Dubai Cares, which he started, is helping millions of kids get an education. We're talking about places where kids might never see the inside of a classroom without this help. It's not just about teaching ABCs. It's about giving these kids a shot at a better life. And now you might be thinking, sure, he's rich, he can afford to throw money around. But here's where it gets real. Sheikh Hamdan's not just signing checks and calling it a day. He's getting personal with it. There was this one time he dropped $600,000 on a cancer treatment for someone. Just like that. Can you imagine waking up one day and finding out a prince is paying for your medical bills? That's the kind of impact we're talking about. But here's the real kicker. Sheikh Hamdan's not just spending his own cash. He's inspiring other rich folks to open up their wallets too. It's like he's starting a trend, but instead of the latest fashion, it's about who can do the most good. He's showing all these billionaires that having a fat bank account isn't enough. It's what you do with it that counts. And it's not just about the money. Sheikh Hamdan's changing how people think about wealth. He's part of this new wave of billionaires who are using their fortunes to tackle big problems. It's not about having the biggest yacht anymore, even though his is pretty massive. It's about making the biggest impact. Tech investments building the city of the future. While some rich guys are building rocket ships, Sheikh Hamdan's turning his entire city into a sci-fi movie set. But this ain't just about fancy gadgets. The prince is pouring billions into making Dubai a tech paradise, and it's way cooler than you might think. First up, Sheikh Hamdan's launched this thing called the Dubai Future Accelerators program. It's all about developing crazy futuristic tech and helping startups that are all about innovation. We're talking next level stuff here, not just another app that tells you what to eat for dinner. But here's where it gets real interesting. The prince is throwing serious cash at AI research that could totally change how cities work. Imagine a city that knows what you need before you do. That's the kind of thing Sheikh Hamdan's aiming for. He's not just trying to make Dubai look cool, he's trying to make it work better for everyone. And get this, flying taxis. Yeah, you heard that right. While we're all stuck in traffic, Dubai's working on zipping people around in the air. It's like the Jetsons, but for real. Sheikh Hamdan's not messing around when it comes to making transportation in Dubai next level awesome. But wait, there's more. The prince is also into this wild idea of 3D printing buildings. It sounds crazy, but it could be a game changer. Think about it. Buildings that go up faster, cost less, and are better for the environment. That's the kind of future Sheikh Hamdan's betting on. Now you might be thinking, sure, this all sounds cool, but what's the point? Well, here's the kicker. It's not just about having the fanciest toys. Sheikh Hamdan's got a bigger plan. All this tech stuff, It's creating jobs for young people in Dubai. He's not just building gadgets, he's building a whole generation of tech-savvy pros who'll keep Dubai on the cutting edge. So while other billionaires are trying to escape to Mars, Sheikh Hamdan's working on making his own city a place people won't want to leave. He's proving that when you invest in the future, you're really investing in people. And that's way cooler than any rocket ship. Education initiatives. Knowledge is the new wealth. Sheikh Hamdan ain't just investing in fancy tech, he's also going big on brains. You might think education's just for kids, but this prince is about to school us all on why knowledge is the new wealth. He's turning Dubai into a global education hub, and it's way more impressive than you'd think. The prince is building universities that are attracting students from all over the world. It's like he's creating a magnet for smart people, pulling in talent from every corner of the globe. But he ain't stopping there. Sheikh Hamdan's got a program to teach coding to 1 million young Arabs. Yeah, you heard that right, 1 million. He's not just talking about the future, he's coding it. But here's where it gets really interesting. Sheikh Hamdan's working on plans to make Dubai the capital of the Islamic economy. This ain't just about money, it's about aligning educational initiatives with Islamic principles and values. It's like he's building a bridge between tradition and innovation, and that's pretty cool. Now you might be thinking, sure, but how many people can actually afford all this fancy education? Well, here's the kicker. Many of Sheikh Hamdan's educational programs are free for local residents. That's right, free. He's making sure that everyone in Dubai has a shot at quality education, no matter how much cash they've got in their pockets. This ain't just about building schools, it's about building a future. Sheikh Hamdan's investing in his people, giving them the tools they need to compete in a world that's changing faster than you can say artificial intelligence. He's not just preparing Dubai for the future, he's making sure Dubai is shaping that future. And let's be real, in a world where some billionaires are more interested in space races than solving problems on Earth, Sheikh Hamdan's focus on education is pretty refreshing. He's showing that true wealth isn't just about how many zeros are in your bank account, it's about the impact you can have on people's lives. Sports investments, from camel races to the Olympics. Sheikh Hamdan ain't just about fancy cars and private islands. This prince is turning Dubai into a sports paradise, and he's spending big to make it happen. But can you really buy your way to sporting glory? Well, Sheikh Hamdan's about to show us how it's done. The prince has been pouring cash into building some seriously epic sports facilities all over Dubai. We're talking world-class setups for everything from swimming to cycling to horse racing. And get this, he's even got top-notch places for equestrian events. That's right, Dubai's got fancy horse stuff too. But Sheikh Hamdan ain't just focusing on the fancy sports. He's also keeping it real with the traditional stuff. Dubai's still big on camel racing, and you can bet the prince is all in on that too. It's like he's bridging the gap between old-school Dubai and the future of sports. Now here's where it gets really wild. Sheikh Hamdan's not just building these places for fun. He's got his eyes on the big prize, the Olympics. Yeah, you heard that right. The prince is working hard to bring the Olympic Games to Dubai. Can you imagine the world's biggest sports event in the middle of the desert? That's some next-level ambition right there. But here's the thing that's really cool about Sheikh Hamdan's sports obsession. It ain't just about showing off or making Dubai look good. The prince is using sports to make life better for everyone in Dubai. He's all about promoting health and getting people to come together through sports. Think about it. When you've got awesome sports facilities in your city, you're more likely to get out there and get active, right? And when you're sweating it out on the track or in the pool, you're not just getting fit, you're meeting new people and building a sense of community. That's exactly what Sheikh Hamdan's going for. And it's not just for the pros either. These facilities are for everyone in Dubai to use. So whether you're a world-class athlete or just someone who wants to stay in shape, Sheikh Hamdan's got you covered. It's like he's turned the whole city into one giant gym. So yeah, Sheikh Hamdan's spending big on sports, but it's not just about the money. He's proving that when you invest in sports, you're really investing in people. You're giving them a chance to get healthy, make friends, and maybe even discover a hidden talent. Who knows? The next Olympic champion might be a kid from Dubai who got their start at one of Sheikh Hamdan's facilities. Healthcare initiatives, building a healthier future. Yo, check this out. Sheikh Hamdan ain't just about fancy cars and private islands. He's dropping serious cash on something even bigger, Dubai's entire healthcare system. But can fancy hospitals and high-tech gadgets really make a whole city healthier? The prince seems to think so, and he's betting big on it. First off, Sheikh Hamdan's turning Dubai into a global medical hub. We're talking state-of-the-art hospitals that look more like luxury hotels. Seriously, these places are so fancy you might forget you're there for a checkup. But it ain't just about looking good. These hospitals are packing some serious medical firepower. And get this, they're planning to bring in AI to spot diseases before doctors can. That's some next level stuff right there. Imagine a computer telling you you're sick before you even feel it. Wild, right? But Sheikh Hamdan ain't stopping there. He's got his sights set on making Dubai the top spot for medical tourism. That means people from all over the world coming to Dubai to get fixed up. It's like a vacation, but instead of a tan, you leave with a new hip or something. Now you might be thinking, sure, but all this fancy stuff is probably just for rich folks, right? Wrong. Sheikh Hamdan's making sure even people without fat wallets can get top-notch healthcare. He believes everyone deserves good health, not just the ones with deep pockets. And it ain't just talk. This dude once dropped $600,000 on cancer treatment for a complete stranger. That's right, someone he didn't even know. Talk about putting your money where your mouth is. But here's the real kicker. All this healthcare stuff isn't just about making people feel better. It's about building a stronger, healthier future for Dubai. See, Sheikh Hamdan knows that a healthy city is a happy city, and a happy city is one that's gonna thrive. So yeah, he's spending big on healthcare, but it's not just about the money. He's proving that when you invest in health, you're really investing in people. You're giving them a chance to live better, work harder, and maybe even come up with the next big idea that'll change the world. Dubai 2040, Urban Master Plan, crafting the city of tomorrow. All right, let's talk about Sheikh Hamdan's latest project. This dude's not just buying fancy cars and watches anymore. He's straight up redesigning an entire city. Yeah, you heard that right. The prince is dropping $500 billion on something called the Dubai 2040 Urban Master Plan. It's like he's playing Sim City, but with real money and real people. So what's this plan all about? Well, Sheikh Hamdan's got some big ideas for Dubai. He's not just thinking about next year or even the next decade. This guy's planning 20 years ahead. That's some next level thinking right there. But can you really plan that far ahead? I mean, who knows what the world's going to look like in 2040? Here's the deal. Sheikh Hamdan wants to double the size of Dubai's public beaches. Imagine having twice as much sand to chill on. But that's not all. He's planning to cover 60% of Dubai in nature reserves. That's right, more than half the city is going to be green space. It's like he's trying to turn this desert city into a tropical paradise. But wait, there's more. The prince is also building a whole new city center. We're talking about a massive hub for business, culture, and just hanging out. It's going to be the place to be in Dubai. Now, you might be thinking, why is he doing all this? Well, here's the thing. Sheikh Hamdan's not just trying to make Dubai look cool. He's actually trying to make life better for everyone who lives there. The prince himself said that the whole point of this plan is to improve the quality of life for residents. He's not just talking about the rich folks either. This is for everyone. Sheikh Hamdan's got a vision of a sustainable urban environment. He's trying to balance all that crazy development Dubai's known for with preserving nature. It's like he's saying, yeah, we can have skyscrapers, but we need trees too.